Everyone, welcome to our Google for Education Adoption webinar. My name is Jeminatu Lavisama. I'm the Regional Education Manager here in the UK. We have a very special guest today that would introduce himself and be able to tell us a little bit more about what his session is about today. So I'm just going to pass it over to Tim.
Okay, hello everybody. My name's Tim Orem. I work at Tamers First School. I just wanted to present a few ideas, our kind of journey of Google and a few ideas of what we use and how we use them, those kind of things. Okay?
Perfect.
So I shall just share my screen and then off we go. Okay. It should be sharing.
Yep, you're good.
Okay. Here we go. I'll just give me a second. I think it's a bit of a lag. Right. So, like I say, I work for Dmoz First School. I'm a Year 4 teacher and IT lead. However, well, I'll come to that later. We're a large first school. We've got about 450 children. We're looking to, well, we will be expanding to 600 in the next few years, in the next 4 years, I think. Like I say, I'm ICT lead. I'm not particularly technical, but I do have a computing interest. We do have a technician, and she's brilliant. I have some ideas, and I ask her if we can do them. She generally says yes, or she finds a way. So it's perfect for me, really. Our schools consist of foundation, so that's 4 and 5 year olds to Year 4, 8 and 9. And we also have a complex needs communications base with about 12 children in. Okay, so this is a recent development for our school. Just before Easter, we were in the then building. Now we're in the now. You can see it's much shinier, brighter, newer, really nice. And yeah, so if I took a little bit about the then, we were about 4 years ago. The school I joined, and so did the technician. We had about 50 PCs, but only about 35 were working. And the smallest smart boards you've ever seen, I didn't know they came that small until I joined the school. We had a horrible broadband and a really poor wireless. We, first of all, our first attempt at upgrading was buying some more PCs and a fair few iPads as well, which was okay, and some teachers really enjoyed that. We found they were tending to be used as more as holding devices as to enhance learning. So we moved on from that. About 3 years ago, we switched to G Suite, and slowly been introducing it since. I guess we still are in a way. So our way into G Suite was through the 3 basic apps. So there was Gmail, Calendar, and Docs, and Drive to go along that, obviously. Gmail was the major improvement. The most immediate impact was to workflow. We had a horrendous email system before, and it sped up everything, obviously, straight away. So that immediately got staff interested. The calendar was really useful. So initially, a staff briefing meeting was cancelled because everything could go on the calendar, and that was popular. So we saved half an hour a week, which we all need. And it's really been a boon for the office as well, who's been able to organise through the calendar, communicate quite easily and quickly. The docs we moved on to fairly quickly, to sharing, planning, and real-time editing, and you know, all the things that comes with it, access rights. And we where was I? Sorry. Yeah, so real-time editing, and I guess the most important part of that was that we got rid of USB sticks fairly quickly, which was amazing. A fantastic thing. It's probably one of the best things about it. Most of the things I'll talk about today are ideas from other people, I'm not afraid to say. So on our IT journey, we've learned from a few main places, and they've been key to development of our school IT. So as a whole school development, professional development, we've had training sessions from a guy called Hardeep Mahal, who's been excellent, really led us down the right path, showed teachers, even the reticent ones, the positive aspects of Google. And we've had regular inputs in staff, just brief ones, in teacher meetings. So from you know, any staff, any person that's interested in presenting something new they found, they can do it in a sort of 10-minute slot at the start of a teacher briefing. Personally, I get my professional development, or most of it, from following the right people on Twitter. I did my level 1 certified educator course, and I'm part of the GEG UK group, which is fantastic. There's some really, really active and helpful members, and I've posted a few questions on there and got some amazing responses. And actually that links with Twitter, because some of those guys are brilliant to follow on Twitter as well. And also the YouTube G Suite's how to use kind of tutorials have been excellent as, for development in all sorts of ways. As you can see, hopefully, possibly not quite yet. As you can see, any major introduction of Chromebooks has come with a major training session. They've normally included the year team, any new staff, and key members of the SLT. So actually, I'm sure you all know, it's really important to get the SLT on side. Our head was one of the main driving forces to introduce Google. I move on, and this is probably the most important part of the presentation. It's something I wish I'd had when we started out. It's all the apps and websites we've found over the years that enhance the curriculum. That's, you know, a carefully chosen word for the 4 to 9-year-olds. We're very keen that technology should enhance rather than just be for technology's sake, and I'm sure, you know, every self-respecting teacher agrees with that. My aim of this presentation is to have a whistle-stop tour of apps and websites that we've used. There's still, you know, each app will have varying degrees of success, and some year groups will use some and not others, and yeah, so it's not across the school by any means, but we found that it's best to let teachers find what suits them best, rather than be prescriptive about it. Also, it comes with a level of, the level of confidence of the teacher. At our last Ofsted, which is 9 years ago now, if you can believe that, our ICT was highlighted as an area of weakness. We now feel it's an area of strength. Okay, and moving on. So like I say, the following ideas are all taken from other people. I love this diagram. I wanted to sort of shoehorn it in, and it's from a website called Still Like an Artist by Austin Kleon, and it sums up my thoughts about running a successful computing community. Really, it's good theft is the key. As long as you're doing it right, then it's okay as far as I can see. So as long as you're sticking to the left-hand side, then go for it. Okay, let's move on to the ideas I've collated and those that are used in the school. Some are really well known, and I'm hoping that there might be a few little gems in there for people. So obviously one of the really well known ones is Google Classroom. This is the key and the backbone to our sharing with children. We share links, docs, slides, we communicate with comments, both in the stream and on any of the G Suite apps that they're using, the children are using. It's just, I love, you know, I don't know anybody who doesn't love this. It gives you immediate feedback through comments between the teacher and the students. Teachers are using it at varying degrees of complexity. Some are doing, you know, as much as it's, I think, possibly possible to do on it, and others will just share links, and that's fine. I think it's just slow. It's about a slow progression, and you know, making teachers feel confident before we move them on. Yeah, it's the first thing teachers using G Suite in their classrooms need to get their heads around, so that we've put a lot of work into making people feel confident. And also, it's helping us go at least partly paper free. Google Docs, another one. I'll just get my notes. It's obviously a key part of G Suite. An example is something I do a lot of with my Year 4s, to encourage peer assessment and give the children, I give the children some free time to write. This writing is based on a website called Pubble 365, which I'm going to talk about next. The children then share this writing with a partner. The partner will comment to peer evaluate. And then the final part is for the children to return to their writing and act upon any comments that they feel are valid. And this gives us a cyclical sort of, it gives us a feedback cycle that the children really seem to enjoy, and also gives them a chance to see other children's writing. Right, as mentioned, Pubble 365. I'm waiting for it to come up on the screen. Pubble 365. It's been great. It's my literacy coordinator showed me this actually. It's a new image every day, as you can see, in that's just an example of an image on the top of the screen, and underneath is all the hints and tips and story starters and questions for inspiration for writing. They're really thoughtful images. Children really like them. They like writing about them. Yeah, it's another great website, and for free, and every day a new image. Hence the name. I've just seen a comment actually on the live chat. So from Ben Rouse. What were the biggest challenges or barriers to implementing the change to G Suite? How did you overcome them? How much training was scheduled? That's a good question, actually. I don't know if I can sum it all up. I guess the biggest barriers they weren't technical. It was more reticence to change, more, refusal to change, or insecurity change. It's like the teachers. It's a well-known teacher trait, I think. I guess the way that we did it, which was led by the head, was to allow in force a few basic things like Gmail and the calendar, but everything else has been a drip feed and take it in different teachers taking it in their own at their own pace. For major, as in terms of major training sessions, we've had about 3, possibly 4 actually over the last 3 years. That's been, you know, several teachers, say 6 teachers being trained all day, which is expensive, but I think worthwhile. It's definitely gave some security to the teachers involved. I hope that answers your question a little bit, Ben. Right, next one, Spiral. This is, I think, my favorite new app. It's free within limits. It's an excellent formative assessment tool. It's easy to set up and use. You can even, and this is becoming more common, you can even populate straight from Classroom. It's amazing for immediate peer evaluation and teacher feedback. And an example I've seen was to show, an image was shown on the board through Spiral, and the children are asked to create an opening sentence for a setting description. The children then posted back to show onto the board, and their attempts can be named or unnamed, and that's controlled by the teacher. Then the class and teacher talked about the different examples, and any that needed improving, the teacher could return. It was an amazing, you know, really great way of sharing and seeing other people's work, peer evaluation again. Yeah, really, really nice. Another question from Ben. Is feedback cycle incorporated into marking and feedback policy? How are you planning to make this visible to Ofsted inspectors? Now that is a very good point. It's not used throughout the school, so it's not part of our marking and feedback policy as yet. I guess as we broaden it and more teachers get involved, there's currently only 3 teachers doing this. As to how we make it visible to Ofsted inspectors, that is a great question and something I should definitely think about more. Currently, it wouldn't be visible if they came in at the wrong time of the day, because it's not part of a literacy lesson. It's part of a guided reading cycle. So when one group is guided reading, the others are doing the feedback cycle. That's a very good point. That's something I definitely need to think on. Thanks, Ben. Okay. Yeah, I haven't really answered your questions, but it certainly does bring up some for me. Thank you very much. Google Tool Builder. I don't know. Yeah, this is perhaps slightly less known. Google Tour Builder. I don't know. Maybe it's really well known, and I'm just late to it. So far I've used it for literacy and geographical study, particularly. We are down on the Jurassic Coast, so the south coast of England, and the Jurassic Coast. We did a Jurassic Coast project, and the children could plot the points on the map, give some information that they'd researched, put in some pictures, give a specific map view. Even a street view is available on Tour Builder. That's really one worth looking at if you haven't before. Right, I thought I'd interrupt just quickly. There's a few more apps and websites to go, but I thought I'd interrupt just to talk briefly about Tamers Digital Leaders. It's something that's been great for the sort of spread of IT in the school. They're chosen from years 3 and 4, children who are particularly enthusiastic about technology, chosen by their teachers. They test out all the new apps, websites, and hardware before anybody else gets to use it. They're kind of our digital guinea pigs, if you like. I'm sure they wouldn't mind me calling them that. The pictures on the slideshow show the digital leaders helping a year 2 class with some programming. If those of you born in the 70s, those are big tracks, you might remember them. I was overjoyed when we got some. Another group that runs in the school is our Tamers Digital Experts, and it's run as a Google Plus group. It's a little bit of a misnomer, but it sounded good at the time. So I wish I'd renamed it. We communicate via Google Plus sites, although it's mainly me that posts, as you can see. It's a good way of sharing ideas. So although lots of people there, the people who are involved aren't possibly so active on the site, I know that they do pick up ideas from things that I've posted, and occasionally others as well. When we set up the group, members were asked if they'd like to join, and there's a teacher representing each year group in the school. So that's worked quite well. I'd like, obviously, people to contribute more, and hopefully that will come with time. Right, back to apps and websites. Google Cultural Institutes. I think this is incredible. I mean, it's just an incredible piece of work that Google have done. It's fantastic for research. I think particularly for teacher research at this age, it's quite dense, some of it, although it's, you know, quite image heavy as well, so it doesn't preclude younger students using it. It's great for historical information, arts and culture generally. I've seen it used really effectively to study works of art close up, much closer than you'd get in real life. So that's a picture, that's the bottom image is a tiny piece of Van Gogh's sunflowers, and it allows you, the resolution allows you to get so close that it allows you to study the texture and yeah, the style and the texture of the painting. I think it's an incredible place. And next up is Kahoot, something the technician showed me. Kahoot, yes, there it is. It's just this is a quick one. I just think it's a nice fun way to gauge learning through questioning. It's, you know, it's another approach to formative assessment, and the more, you know, the more the merrier. Children will get bored with one, so, you know, why not use 3? Kahoot's been really popular. Actually, digital leaders really love it as well. They're a good gauge for how the rest of the school will take it, how the digital leaders enjoy it. Another app, a free one again, is Formative. Most of these are free, incidentally. Formative, it's called Formative, and it is a formative assessment tool. It's really easy to set up and use. It's great for immediate peer evaluation and teacher feedback. Not peer evaluation, sorry, teacher evaluation and feedback. In year 4, we use it to gauge the knowledge at the start of a maths unit, and so we can plan accordingly. Also, we ask the children to complete the test at the end of the unit to see that either if there are still any issues, if there's still work to be done on that unit. So it gives a good look at what they can and can't do. Next one is Auto Draw, which is a new one for me. It's something that the teachers in the complex communication needs base use. And I went down to see it in use, and they use it to the children use it to create drawings as an inspiration for their writing, so they can copy and paste the drawings into their writing. Some of the children with complex communication needs also have poor motor skills, and this is a way of, because this is an app that interprets drawing and tries to understand what you're drawing. It's a bit of artificial intelligence. It's not always so accurate, but even the trying is fun. They've informed me that it's great for development of motor skills, and also it gives them a sense of achievement, gives the children a sense of achievement when they've created a drawing. In the children's eyes, they've created a drawing to go with their literacy work. Now, this is one of the few paid websites that I'll talk about today. It's called Times Table Rockstars. Now, it is paid, but it's incredible value for money in my eyes. I sound like I'm on a commission. I'm not. It's been great for us, great for Times Table learning, a real fun way of doing it. Yeah, really fantastic and engaging. The children absolutely, they love it's got a competitive element where they race against each other. But they can race within their own parameters. So it could be one child is just doing 5 times table and the other is doing up to 12 times table. And then they race, they can still race together. They're able to create a rock star. They earn money to kit him out in the best clothes. They love it. It's great. It's really good fun, and regular practice has been well, yeah, invaluable, really. I've got children in my class who can get 60 correct questions in a minute, which is about twice what I can do. Probably shouldn't be admitting that online. Okay, moving on. It's not a new one, this one, by any means, I know, but it is key to our IT, and still, and it has been for some years. This is obviously based on programming and algorithms. The last time I saw it used, it was being used in DT to design interactive toys, which worked brilliantly. And it's an old one, but a good one. I've seen it also used in maths to explain a concept. Google Keep. I think this is incredibly underrated app, and not so many people know about it as should. It's very quick, really. What it does, it's a job list app. This isn't my job list. This is taken from the internet, obviously. I think year groups have found it useful to share jobs out, check off when they're done. SLT have found it particularly useful. I know that the head teacher uses it and gives, records jobs and who's responsible and shares lists with various key members of the school. Yeah, and it now integrates with Docs as well, as if it wasn't good enough in the first place. Okay. Last but not least, it's Google Expeditions. I just thought it was worth mentioning and showing these lovely images. I don't know if they're still going, but if they are, it took me 5 attempts, and then another teacher applied, and we got them. It's a bit galling. Get them in if you can, if they're still going around. It's amazing. Teachers and children absolutely loved it. It was one of the best parts of the year for me, seeing the children get so involved with their expeditions. Okay, that's almost me done. I hope that was fairly concise and to the point. I'm not sure. Our future plans, well, making the feedback cycle visible to Ofsted. That's key. Also, we're going to look more into team drives, homework through Classroom, which is something that we've been meaning to do for a couple of years, but complexities of year groups have stopped me doing that. Also, using Google Hangouts a bit more to chat with other schools and experts. Yeah, it's been a learning experience just using this today. I'd like to leave you with a quote from one of our teachers, a genuine quote from one of our Year 2 teachers. I'll give you a minute to have a look at that. I think it really sums it up. Okay, well, that's my presentation. I do hope you've enjoyed it, or learned something, or anything at all. I hope you've taken away something. And thank you, Ben, for the questions. That was really nice. That's me. Feel free to ask me any questions.
Well, that was great. Thank you so much, Tim.
Okay.
Anyone have any questions before Tim goes? Okay, I think that's it. Just stay tuned for our next adoption webinar next quarter. And if you have any questions for Tim later on, we'll share this link out, and then you can contact him through his Twitter, his email, and as well as the GEP group as well. All right, thanks everyone. Thank you, Tim. Great job.
Thank you.